Hi, everyone. I just wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about AI. I know it's a hot topic, especially in education right now. And tonight, my husband and I figured out a fun new use of this tech. And after a bit of arguing with Gemini, not my husband, we were able to get Gemini to create a usable quiz in Google Forms, which may or may not seem impressive. But the way I did it, I ended up having to convince Gemini to use AppScript. So I'm going to walk you through that process just so you can see another use for Google Gemini. Here we go. Okay, here's a little background. I come home all the time talking about tech and how I'm using it, especially AI and Gemini Learning. So today, my husband, who's also an educator, decided to try this to create a prime and composite spiral review quiz. So Gemini worked with him, and together they created this 20-question quiz. And then, because it's important to keep the human in the loop, he checked all of the answers and found 4 questions that had wrong or incorrect answers. So, after some further discussion with Gemini, he was able to get a working 20-question quiz. So, here's where I came in. I came into the conversation and he was deciding that he was going to copy and paste every question and answer into a Google form. And I said, no, that is not what we're going to do. We are going to create a Google form. But when I went to export, there was no option for export to forms. And I asked Gemini, let's go down and see this conversation. I asked it to create this in a form of a quiz to download or export into Google Forms. So it created the quiz, great layout, but then there was no option to export. So I asked it, why can't I export to a Google form? So an answer was given. I didn't like its answer because it was basically telling my husband to do what I told him not to do, which was copy and paste everything. That is way too much work. Little background on me, I'm a stubborn person and I'm going to get tech to do what I want. So I then asked it some more questions. I started arguing with Gemini. My husband said that Gemini wasn't going to like him anymore. I assured him it's a computer, not a person. Don't worry, I'm going to argue. So then, in the end, I used part of Gemini called Canvas, and I asked Canvas to create AppScript for me to put into a Google form. So let's see that AppScript. Here we go. The AppScript is written. I copied this AppScript. I pasted it into a Google form AppScript, viewable right here. And then once I pasted it here, I saved it. I pressed run, and in the end, here is my quiz. Now, the quiz is only 19 questions instead of 20, so somewhere I lost a question. AI doesn't do all of the work, and this is why AI will never replace the teacher. Now that this form has been created, my husband needs to go through it and make sure that all 20 questions are there, the correct answers transferred over, and that it's ready to go for students. But he didn't have to copy and paste every question and answer. So there's another use for Gemini. You can use it to write AppScript to then create a Google form. Hope that was as fun for you as it was for me. And if this is something that seems way above your head, feel free to reach out. I'm always willing to lend a helping hand.